we are going to start with the second type of productivity, that is secondary productivity. What is secondary productivity? It is the amount of organic matter or the amount of biomass produced by the consumers in a given period of time is called as secondary productivity. In previous class, we discussed about primary productivity. Primary productivity means amount of organic matter produced by the producers in a given period of time. Same way, secondary productivity means amount of organic matter produced by the consumers in a given period of time is called as secondary productivity. If the organic matter is produced by producers, that is primary productivity. If the organic matter is produced by the consumers, that is secondary productivity. The secondary productivity is further classified into two different types, that is gross secondary productivity and net secondary productivity. Gross, the word gross, it stands for nothing but total. What here? It is gross secondary productivity means the total amount of organic matter produced by the consumers is called as gross secondary productivity. What about net secondary productivity? It is nothing but the saved organic matter. After all the expenditure, we call it as net secondary productivity. Consumer is there, and that consumer, that is nothing but they are producing the organic matter. After producing, the total amount is called as total amount of organic matter produced by the consumer is the gross secondary productivity. The total organic matter produced by the consumer. That total amount of organic matter is utilized for what? For locomotions. These consumers are locomoting. During that time, this organic matter is used. And in that total amount of organic matter, it is also used during the time of respiration. It is also used in the during the time of digestion. Like this, during various different metabolic activity, the organic matter is used from the total organic matter which is produced by the consumer. After all that expenditure, the remained organic matter or the saved organic matter, after all the expenditure by the consumer, and that we call it as net secondary productivity. That means we can calculate net secondary productivity can be calculated by gross secondary productivity minus locomotion, respiration and digestion. That is how we are going to obtain the net secondary productivity. The annual net primary productivity of the whole biosphere, the annual net primary productivity is approximately for about 170 billions of organic matter, occupying for about 70% of the surface. Next, we shall see the second important function of the ecosystem. We have completed the first function of the ecosystem, that is productivity. We listed four, that is productivity, decomposition, energy flow, last one is nutrient cycle. Now we are in the second function of the ecosystem, that is decomposition. It is a process of breaking down of complex organic matter into inorganic substances like carbon dioxide, water and nutrients in the nature is called as decomposition or decay. We shall repeat, decomposition is nothing but one of the process where the breaking down of the complex organic matter or the organic substances converted into inorganic substances like water, carbon dioxide and nutrients in the nature. This we call it as decomposition or decay. The dead plants waste. What are those organic matter? They are listed here. Very few of the organic matters are mentioned. Dead plant waste. Any part of the plant body, waste of the plants such as leaves, barks, flowers, fruits, root systems, etc. Dead remains of animals, dead organisms or dead animals, including their fecal matter, including their biological waste, that is nothing but fecal matter, is also called as the organic substance or the detritus. The detritus is the partial decomposed organic matter. The partial decomposed organic waste or organic substance is called as detritus, which is the raw material for the decomposition. Next we shall see the important steps of decomposition. How the decomposition process continues or how the decomposition process is completed. Here there are few steps, like one is fragmentation, the second one is humification, third one is mineralization, fourth one is catabolism and leaching. Now we shall study one by one in detail. The first one is fragmentation. We have already known about fragmentation in first chapter itself, where in the chapter reproduction in organisms. There, under asexual type of reproduction, we studied about fragmentation. We shall brush up our knowledge what is meant by fragmentation. Fragmentation means it's a process of breakdown of the organic substance or breakdown of the parental body into many pieces. So what is happening here? Fragmentation means the detritus. Detritus means we got the meaning. It is nothing but the organic substance or the organic matter which is considered as the raw material for decomposition is called as detritus. That means waste of plants, waste of animals, fecal matter of animals, all these are considered as detritus. Fragmentation, how it is happening here? The detritus is breakdown into smaller pieces. That is what fragmentation. Fragmentation means breakdown into pieces. Here what is breaking down? Detritus is breaking down. Detritus is nothing but the organic substance. The detritus is breakdown into smaller fragments or smaller pieces to increase the surface area for microbial action. To increase the surface area of microbial action, and this process itself is called as fragmentation. The organisms which feeds on detritus are called as detrivores. The organism which feeds on detritus or the organic substances, such organisms are called as detrivores. We have taken example for detrivores here. One is earthworm. It's a very best example that we all have seen. The earthworm is present in earth and maximum of the organic substances are present in the earth, and that will be converted by this earthworm. That detritivores will helpful in converting those organic substances, and hence we are considering this as detritivores. The second one is beetle and termites. Beetle, termites, etc. all are these insects which are also involving in breaking down of the detritus, and hence we can consider them as detrivores. The second step under decomposition is humification. It's the most beautiful step or the process, that is the process of formation of humus is called as humification. The process of formation of humus is called as humification. How does that humification is taking place? During the process of decomposition. During the process of decomposition, the detritus get converted into dark colored amorphous substance, and that itself is called as humus. This detritus is digested, or it is breakdown by the help of detrivores, and that extract or the substance what we are obtaining is in the form of humus. I'll repeat the definition of humification. The process of formation of humus is called as humification. How the humification takes place is during the process of decomposition, the detritus get converted into dark colored amorphous substance, and that is called as humus. We shall discuss the third step under decomposition, that is mineralization. What is mineralization? The process of conversion of humus into minerals is called as mineralization. We'll get a very clear picture in the next slide. We'll get a clear picture regarding mineralization, humification, fragmentation. We'll get a very clear picture. Now, first we shall know the definitions for each step. Mineralization means the process of conversion of humus into minerals is called as mineralization. That means first what happened during fragmentation, the organic substance or the organic matter was break down into many pieces, and that detritus were consumed, or that fragmentation was done by the help of detrivores like earthworms, beetles, termites, etc. What they did, they converted into humus. That humus now is break down, and they are releasing the minerals into the soil. That process of conversion or releasing of minerals from the humus is called as mineralization. Some of the microbes, how they are releasing minerals into the soil. Some of the microbes degrade the humus into the inorganic nutrients, carbon dioxide and water, and then released into the soil. This is how they are releasing the minerals. These minerals increases the fertility of the soil. Once the minerals are released from the humus, and that minerals which are percolating into the soil surface or within the soil, that minerals will enrich the fertility of the soil. The next step is catabolism. What is catabolism? Catabolism is nothing but all breakdown process are called as, or all breakdown reactions, we call it as catabolism. Bacterial and fungal enzymes degrade the detritus. degrade the detritus and convert complex organic substances into simple organic and inorganic compounds called as catabolism. Catabolism is nothing but breaking down. What is breaking down here? The detritus are break down by the bacteria and fungal enzymes, bacterial and fungal enzymes. That enzymes are breaking down the detritus and they are converting the complex organic substances. Complex organic substances are converted into simple organic and inorganic compounds, and this process we call it as catabolism. The last one is leaching. Precipitation of minerals in the soil during percolation. The water-soluble inorganic nutrients produced during the decomposition go down deep into the soil horizon and they get precipitated as unavailable salts called leaching. Now what is leaching? Leaching means precipitation of minerals in soil during percolation. After the mineralization, that means after the release of the minerals, these minerals will percolate into the soil surfaces. Some of the minerals will be dissolved by the water, or they are soluble inorganic nutrients. The water-soluble inorganic nutrients produced during the time of decomposition. That means during mineralization, they go down deep into the soil. They are percolating. Percolating means they are entering within the pores of the soil. They are percolating into the soil horizon and get precipitated as unavailable salts. Some of the inorganic substances will precipitate as pellets and they come and settle on the surface of the soil, and that we call it as leaching. Next, we studied about different steps under decomposition. Here we are seeing in the form of picture. Let me take the first step, that is fragmentation. Fragmentation is first. The second one is humification. That is nothing but the formation of humus. Next comes the mineralization. And the next comes the nothing but the catabolism and the leaching. Now, first step is nothing but fragmentation. Fragmentation means breakdown. What we need? We need a raw material for decomposition. What is the raw material? The raw material is nothing but the organic substance. We have taken the green leaf as the organic substance. A fresh leaf which has fallen from the tree is now the detritus for us. That is green leaf which has fallen on the ground. That is the raw material. Now that green leaf might be eaten by many of the insects and many other animals. Nutrients and energy will be passed through food web. Or else the same leaf or many other leaves might be decomposed or decayed by the help of fungi. The leaves partially consumed by the decomposers. That is nothing but here they have given the picture of mushroom. That is nothing but the agaricus, which belongs to fungi. The leaves might be partially consumed or decomposers such as fungi and bacteria. They begin to lose some form and become litter. It might be eaten by the insects or it may be decomposed by the fungi or bacteria, or it may also be eaten by the earthworm. Finally, what happening here? The organic substance or the detritus is getting break down by different way. Some of the nutrients reach into the soil by chemical reactions or chemical actions. Here from the insect or from the fungi or bacteria or by the help of decomposition by the earthworm, bacteria, soil mites, fungi, many other mites or different earthworms or different bacteria which are present in the earth may also decompose the organic substance, and finally it is fragmented. Then what happens? It is converted into humus, and then what happens? The soil is rich with organic substance. That is organic rich soil we obtained. We have obtained the organic rich soil, and that soil is again absorbed by the tree. And what happens? That organic rich soil is having minerals, and those minerals are again absorbed by the roots of the tree, and this again the tree grows in the soil by absorbing the nutrients and minerals released by this organic substances from the soil, and this is how the cycle will be continued. So this shows the clear picturization of decomposition.